सलाम मेरे अजीज पंखों।
I'm going Italy tomorrow morning, he said, and they turned to him shocked. Why? They could not stop himself for asking. Some work, shortly answered, and went to the coach to lay back. For how many days? They asked again to him. I don't know, he replied, and they stood right in front of him. What do you mean you don't know? How could you say this? They said, looking at him, who sat up. Don't argue like this, like you are a wife, he said, while covering his eyes with his arm, and lay back. I am your wife, Uncle, they said, and they both went silent for some time. Sitting up, he didn't look at they, and they turned to other side. Both hearts were beating as they recognized the relation between them. For how many days? They asked again. I don't know. Maybe forever, he said, and Ted turned to him in shock. What does that mean? They asked. I'm going to sleep. I have a flight tomorrow, he said, and lay back, and they kept looking at him in shock. And then the next morning came, and he left there with tears. He didn't turn to him, didn't talk to him, didn't tell him when he will be back. A month later, why Jungkook is not coming back? Look at him for once, said Miss John, and look at that sad face of Theon. I'm trying to calling him, but he's not answering my call. What happened between them? Asked Mr. John, worried, and tried to call Jungkook. They was listening their talk, and his heart was going more sad. Walking back to his room, closed the door, and let the tears come out. It was for the first time that he went away like that, and they felt bad. They missed him always, but today it was different. They felt he'll die any moment if he didn't come back. It was going beyond to the limit of missing. It was more than just missing. He's bad. He hugged the pillow, and they said, and cried more while hiding his face in the pillow. Jungkook. Theon. Yelling, he got up and looked around to find him. His forehead was filled with sweat, as if it were a dream. Closing his eyes, he leaned back on bed again, but his mind was only thinking about him. For the last whole month, he was holding himself back, far away from him. But it seems like nothing to happen. As the more he was trying to forget him, the more he was missing Tay. And it was not just missing. He felt dying without him. Theon, what you have done to me, he thought, looking at their face, which was flashing on his mind again and again. I can't take this anymore. I can't live without you, saying, he paused and away the step down to bed and started packing his luggage. Jungkook, you're home. His mother looked at him in shock, who smiled and went closer to her and hugged her. I'm home, Mom. I missed you, he said, and moved back to see her. Liar, why did you do this? You made them cry, Miss John said, and complaining directly as he smiled. I know, and I will make him smile down, he said, which made Miss John happy. Then go and pick him for university. It will be a surprise for him, Miss John said, and he nodded. He walked out with a smile to see her, who was beating in his heart now. With a smile, he was driving toward the university, and his heart was beaming. A joy he was going to see they was beating in his heart. I'm coming down, he mumbled to himself, and turned to the car to left, stopping the car in the parking. He took a step ahead to find his boy. He felt himself flying in the clouds, looking around. His restless eyes and heart was finding him. His restlessness was increasing with every passing second, and the belong to see Dave was increasing too with every second. Theon. His lips took his name, and his eyes catch him going to other side, running after him. He tried to reach him, but his feet stopped. As he saw him standing with some boy, while talking, and they laugh and hide his face behind his fire. The color of his face, the smile, which came here because of the boy started Jungkook, shaking his both hands and walked together. And Jungkook hid himself behind the wall. taking slow step behind. He followed them to the park. Come, I'll drop you. They heard that boy, who seemed at the age of Theon. No, you go, I'll manage, they said and gave a nod while sitting on the bike. He rode for him and always waving a bye to him, and they turned to him with a smile on his lips. As they took a step ahead, his eyes moved up to the feet stop, and its place. The eyes were roaming on the face which was in front of him. After a month, it was in front of him, and they just could not do anything but keep looking at him without blinking. You came. These two words just come out of their mouth while eyes never moved from his place. Let's go. Without saying anything else, he moved toward his car, and they keep looking at the moving feet, which was taking him far from him. His feet follow him, but eyes never move for him. Getting in the car, he waited for they to sit in. They took a seat next to him and had started the car, but never looked at him. When you come. But he remained silent. He kept driving the car, waiting for him to say something. The car stopped, and they looked at him at his place. They reached home without saying anything and stepped out of the car while they signed of his cold behavior. Stepping out of the car, they held the book of one hand and make him follow him. You both home? Both stepped together and heard Miss John and faked a smile. Miss John said and both looked at each other while their heart was tingled. You go to your room and freshen up. I'll call you for lunch, Miss John said and walked back to their room with beating heart. Closed the door behind. They looked at him, who sat on the bed and took off his shoes, but didn't look at they once. His heart wanted to see they, to look at they, to talk to him, but he was ignoring him completely. Jungle. His feet stopped as he called him for the first time. Both felt they beautiful as they took their name, but he didn't turn, holding his crazy heart. He kept standing. They looked straight and towards went in front of him, looking at him as they tried to find his love on his face. But he was not looking at him, but was escaping from the eyes. Where are you gone? Didn't think about me once? They asked as many tears left his eyes, and he looked at him. I'm going again, he said and looked away from their face. I think this relation will not work. We can't work together. You should move on your life with someone, that person. He said and looked at who was listening to him. I came to say this. Tomorrow morning, I'm going back. You can live your life without me. With much difficulty, he said and took a step, but holding his fist, they stopped him. What? What did you say? They asked, pulling him back to him. Theon, we can't be together. This is a mismatch. I want to free you from the relation, he said, looking at their filled eyes with tears. You like someone else? They asked and looked at him. What if I say yes? It should be above me. Just live your life, he said and tried to move, but they threw the book away and went in front of him. This is my concern. How can you say to live without you? How can you think of leaving me again? They yelled, looking at him, who was shocked at his reaction. You dare to leave me again? Jungkook, I'll kill you, saying he hugged him while he was shocked on that act. I can't live without you. Don't leave me, please. Holding him tightly, they said while crying. Theon, come to your senses. He tried to move the back, but he didn't move, but keep holding him tightly. I don't want to be in the sense. I can't. Please don't leave me again. I'll die without you. They cried, holding his face in his chest. He could not hold himself back. Wrapping his arms around him, he took the in his arm and closed the eyes with their wave of peace that ran in his body. Me too. A confession make they smile and move back to see him. What did you say? You will not be back, right? They said with a smile on their lips. Moving closer, he cupped their face. I will not, saying he pressed his lips on their forehead. I will not go ever, he added, and pulled them again in his arm, feeling happy they had in his back while resting his head on his chest. I love you. His eyes snapped open of what he heard. He moved back and shocked and looked at him, who smiled at the shocked expression. What did you say? They asked, still not believing. What he heard was not a lie. I said. He paused with a smile and took a light breath in to let it out while circling his arms around his hair. Look at the ocean like deep eyes. I said. I love you. He said again, looking into his deep eyes. I love you. Can't imagine my life without you. He said, and they cried, closing his eyes, which made him worried. What happened? Why are you crying? He asked tense. Nothing. They said, wiping his tear, and looked at him, who was looking at they. Don't go ever. They said, looking at his sleeve like a baby. And he smiled, nodding his head, and hugged they. Both remained in each other's arms for a minute, and their heart was beating together, while their lips were smiling. Jungle. Fresh enough, Mom will be waiting for us, saying they, walking to the washroom, while her followed they and leaned on the door, while his eyes were keep capturing they, who was now washing his face, water drop falling from their closed face, which made his heartbeat increased, and unknowledgedly his feet was moved together. They was who was busy in washing his face, circled his arms around his stomach. He made this started, while he struggled, his face in his neck, making this shut. What are you doing? So to get from that embrace and shyness they asked, but he held him more tightly. What I am doing, whispering in his ear, replacing a soft kiss on the yellow, while brushing hard on his act. Please let. His words will not complete when his turn they to capture his lip without giving any warning. The eyes winded, and the body stiff while heart near increasing as the peak of his lips on his increased. There, whispering on his lips, he lowered between that and bite it, while they closed down. His finger went through his hair, feeling that kiss. Kissing for a few minutes, he moved back, panting, and looked at the who was trying to catch his breath, opening his eyes. They looked up, who was having an ocean of love for him, pulling them closer to him, and started that face giving him many heart attack. He was not understanding how to handle that, and the sensation increasing in they, moving down on they thought he living wet kisses, which make they restless. Jungkook, please, giving they as he clung around the shoulder, picking they in his arm. He walked out toward the bed while locking his eyes, and he, who was having the color of shyness in his cheeks, that ahead, and they lay on the bed without breaking the curtains down to make the room dark. Going back to day, he catch his in his dim light of room while praying the fingers of his nervousness. His lips smiled and took off the shirt and went closer to Day. Nervous? He asked, and they looked down in shy. Should I stop? He asked, and they gave a negative nod, in which he made him smile and lean on their neck, leaving further kisses which make him restless. Theon, at the same moment, a knock on the door made him they open his eyes and look at Jungkook, who was busy him. Mom is calling, they said, and trying to stop him. She'll understand. Whispering, he captured their lips again and pulled completely in his arm, loving him, making him of love. That mean to be each other, they will be destined to be with one here, and they accept with their written from them.